What is this? Check interview with FNATIC Nightshare. Is there a TLDR of this? Is it good? It's a fucking essay. Humanoid got 2 offers from Winter, XL and FNATIC. He did trials for XL and he said XL also was better than FNATIC. And we got 2 academy players. He also said VTO is fucked in the head and if he accepted he'll be almost uncoachable. In FNATIC he didn't do any trial, this is the 2-hour interview and he wants to sign immediately, which he accepted. He said he was scared about the players but he knew Marek well. And that he certainly wouldn't go to FNATIC if Marek was not there. After 1 week he said he was happy and signed allegedly because FNATIC is a very professional org, they have a great cook and food. He won the walkthrough with players because they're easy to coach. Ivan came to him after the meeting that was 50 minutes and said that he is great and easy to listen to and there's a big upgrade. Nightshare feels respected in the working environment. Then he talked about Reckless and how professional he is. Surprised him as a player with how much knowledge he has. He also said he has moments when he shows he doesn't like something with his body language and you can see it on him. He can be passive aggressive but otherwise he's very professional. He said that the hardest to coach is Razork and Reckless. They went to the management to talk. They asked if they feel any pressure from management side. He said that there's no pressure because they took the split lightly and we have 2 new academy players. We're trying to build something but they would like at least top 8. Okay, well there's a lot in this. Then there's talking about beer because Ivan bought him some Spanish beer. The players are willingly staying after scrims in the office to have fun with each other and bond. He praised Hiva. He said he's very insane and helpful and he praised Shaves. He said he wouldn't be able to stay without them. He's not sure if it's him the change, that he's just lucky to be where he is and the combination of factors clicked. They asked about practice and how it went. Nightshare laughed because he said he's proud mid-bot concept he brought to the team. The players are super good in the practice. We're getting better from match to match. He said we murdered every team in scrims in preseason, 85% win rate. He said he thought the first week would be at least 2-1 or the worst 1-2, but they noticed Oscar's setup anxiety and they were getting really worried. He also said Oscar was scared, but Razork was... Well, also Razork was too for the first games. He asked who's most ready player is in team. He said definitely Humanoid. Then he quoted Humanoid from Czech. Hey, I don't know what these teams are. I look at the meme map and see every team is griefing. Marek is an insane player. They were playing for 3 days of scrims and they lost only 1 game. He said it's mostly because of Marek. He says he made him motivated. He wants to win the split. I mean, I've heard Humanoid is a fucking demon, but on stage sometimes he can get a bit cocky, you know? Or like things can fall apart. Then they talked about NA. Nightshare said that he came from NA. He saw EU scrims and realized NA has no chance and they should give up. Oh my god, there's a big difference, mostly because EU is also very bad right now and they would still shit stomp them. He also feels that... So he was coaching in NA, right? He was coaching for EG or something. He thinks that NA has no chance and that EU is really bad, but we still shit stomp them. He also thinks Marek changed a lot from the Czech scene. He said the relationship with Marek is something he has full trust and vice versa. Marek is Humanoid. I don't know if anyone knows that, but yeah. He has the same game knowledge and his brain is priceless. He's learning the game from Marek, who's teaching him game concepts. Change was also that he is also emotionless. He said that he is Marek, Humanoid. Marek said that if he would play a World Finals, he wouldn't give a fuck. He would just be another game for him. But also means it's hard for him to work. Sometimes he doesn't care. Is there any beef in the team? He said that there were damaged relationships and it showed when they started losing on stage. They apparently worked on that and gave themselves feedback, and he's claiming that now there's no one with beef. He says that they still have some problems, like when their Sejuani's ulting to Narnia. But it can be solved. Now he talks about his goals a bit. He says their goals are realistic. He thinks that they will win against Astralis, but lose against Vitality and then beat Man in the best of 3, which will be a banger. If we make playoffs, it is very dependent on who we will face. He also said that T1 will probably win Worlds and the Faker will get his 4th. He mentioned that they're also learning concepts from T1 because they're insane. Today they learned about bot recalls and tempo for Drakes. Interesting. That's a very open interview. I guess that was a couple... That was probably last week or something. I don't know how accurate it was because it was translated, right? Oh yeah, we needed to read the FNATIC rumor things, didn't we? Let's finish it. Now let's talk about Oscar. He says he's an amazing rookie. He's introverted and emotional. He said that they handled him pretty well as he was really scared. Even though they tried now and show it, not talking to him, tried to help him by talking in private. What Alex was talking about is showing important this pressure about the game because it shows that you care, but you need 5 minutes or so to talk to that person, you know. Okay, that was a bit useless. Talk about the daily schedule. They talk about the era of how a gaming house players live, sleep and play, only in the office. They usually start scrims at 1. That means the players have to be there at latest 11:30. team lunch, they play 1 to 12 to the team meeting. They talk about everything in practice. They also usually play in 5 games, but it's a block of 3, block 3. That means they play 13 to 18 or 19, sometimes 20. They have summary meeting. Everyone can do whatever they want. They go play home, play solo queue.
As BLG, do you just first pick a Thalios and you give
If you want to be the best, you need to play from morning to night or work as hard as possible.
We feel comfortable on both. We're at least putting
is there anything interesting in here? Earlier than Flair, is there anything to win?
You're not giving him that same luxury.
Realistic expectations. He said he doesn't think the roster can beat Korean or Chinese teams. He thinks that if G2 and Mad are not mental boomed, it'll be very hard to beat these two teams. Nevertheless, he says that they don't know what the ceiling of this roster is. It's getting better every day, so they still can surprise him. Now we're doing a tier list from the players. He's tier listing his players in an interview. Oscar is 4th or 5th because he said he's really keen about fighting and he needs to learn how to still play in the hardest league. Why is he rating his player? Razork on a good day is 3rd, on a bad day is 6th, Humanoid is 1st by far, Reckless is 5th or 6th best, 1st is Upset, 2nd is X-Kick, Advien is 5th, 6th based on his point, he's missing mechanics compared to some ports. He can't be worse than Hillisang, to what Nightshare replied that every time he saw Hilly int, the game whole office was in thank you Hilly. Why is he ranking his players in an interview? That just feels a bit like you should always believe that your players are the best. I mean, you can delude yourself into thinking it, which is also a good coping mechanism, but you should always believe that what you can do is bring the best out of them and that they have the ceiling to be the best. So, I mean, I would have... I mean, maybe he just wanted to answer the question, but if someone... The interviewer is his friend and he wants to answer his question. Yeah, but I would just tell him to shut the fuck up. Well, I guess if he's his friend, I'd say, like, you know, I can't answer that question, but I can rank players in the LEC, not including my team, you know.
That Rumble ban, that Xayah ban, and at least for OMG, the Gnar ban and the Kindred ban.
It's been a collie for BLG in both games when it's come to this 3rd ban, so...
No way.
They're actually going to change it up.
What the fuck?
Open. And like you're saying, Game 3...
Wait, Reckless changed his name to 5th, 6th?
to be able to test something out.
What?
That's what we wanted to see.
I hope that's not like that he did it out of like to spite him. I hope he thought it was just like maybe he does it for a meme or something. I hope there's a meme inside the team.
Very good, but that might be a bit of a jump up Rakan.
Maybe they're just bantering.
If you miss game 1, in game 1 draft, we're talking a lot about the Rakan because it's PBGot's most played champion, and historically it's the champion you would associate with On. But there wasn't a heavy presence.
I think Humanoid's the best mid in the LEC. No, I think
BLG are
Caps is right now.
What they're comfortable on.
And it enables the playstyle.
Actually, I think Leader is playing fucking insane, to be honest, you know? Like, if you say, hey, Caedrel, tell me who the best mid is, without any further, like, vision context of just the last 3 weeks of LEC, who's best mid? You can actually say Leader, you know?
Yeah, so far, OMG in game 1 when they were on red, they did pick